Alright guys, so today we're taking a look at a new release on the Infinity game table, and the game we're talking about here today is Billiards, a game that a lot of us have been waiting for. That they talked about it on their Kickstarter. This game is currently on sale in the store. It came out today for $3.99, but if you were a person who got the table on Kickstarter, they did give us a promo code, so you don't have to pay for the game at all. You do get the game for free as promised on the Kickstarter, but for anybody else who buys it, it is $3.99 on the store. As you can see here, there's one player versus the computer, or one player versus a player, so you can play against two players across the table. If you do play one player against the CPU, you have three different difficulties. You have easy, medium, and hard. If you play easy mode, you can see that there's a blue line there on there, so when you're moving your paddle around, you can actually see exactly where it's going to go. So that obviously makes it a little bit easier. But when you're playing on the other difficulties, you can see here that there is no blue line, so you won't know while you're moving your paddle here left and right. You won't actually know where the ball is going to go, unlike the other one where it shows you that blue line and exactly where the ball is going to end up. So obviously it makes it harder and more fun, in my opinion, to play this game. You actually just hold the left and right side here to actually hold the power button up and down just like there, and then you kind of just let go, and then it takes a shot. Of course, that wasn't a great shot, but that's fine. Like I said, there's also the player versus player mode. There's a couple things we want to get into in the overview, but that is basically 8-ball here, so let's go ahead and take a deeper look.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with 8-ball billiards here. So I'm excited to show you guys this game, give you guys an idea of how this game actually works on here. Like I said in the overview, there's one player versus computer and player versus player that you can play in this game if you would like. If we take a look here at the options, you could leave the tutorial on, so we're going to leave that on for the time being. There is a how to play as well, where it tells you exactly how to play the game. So if we go ahead and get out of here, we're going to do one player versus CPU. We're going to show you first a couple of rounds of easy, so you guys can see what the difference is that I talked about in the overview there in the beginning. So it gives you this little tutorial here in the beginning. You could skip it there in the corner if you want. You could drag your finger to rotate the stick. As you can see here, this is how you rotate the stick. And then it tells you to click and drag to release the launch ball, so you can see that there. Over here in the corner it says press to rotate the cue, so you can do that from down there. And then over here it says to perfect your spin, you can actually hit this over here as well. So a lot of different options. You could drag the ball to place it on the spot when you have the ability to place it wherever you want. So you can see on the easy mode, see that blue line there in the corner there? So you can kind of see it while you're rotating the stick around. So when you hit a ball, you can actually see exactly where the ball is going to go based on your hit. So see that if I hit the blue ball right here, it tells you that those balls are going to go in that direction. So obviously it makes it a little bit easier because you can see exactly the direction these balls are going to go. So for example, let's break this up first. We got nothing in any of the holes, did we? No, we did not. So again, we're playing against the computer here on easy. So it's going to be their turn. They're going to take their shot. It says change turn. They make their yellow right off the bat just like that. So you can see in the top corner now it says player 2 is solid, and I'm going to be stripes here because he just made that in. So here's a perfect one here now because the stripe one is right in front of us. So on easy mode, for a shot like this, doesn't mean it's an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's completely easy, but it makes it a little easier because see how I'm looking at the blue ball? And see how like I can just move it, and now I know it's going in that direction, and I can kind of aim it based on where I think that blue is going to go. So it makes it a little bit easier to play because now I know the white ball is going to go that way, and the blue one is going to go that way as soon as I hit this. So it makes it a little bit easier to play because it's telling the direction it's going. So I can go ahead and just do this. I still missed, but you got the idea. That obviously becomes easier because you can see the direction of where the ball is actually going to go. I mean, I'm still not great at the game, and it doesn't mean your turns are going to be putting the balls into the hole are going to be, you know, exactly the easiest shots in the world, but obviously it does make it easier. So the computer just took their turn there. They made another one. So they're going to go ahead and go again. They're probably going to make this orange one. Yeah, they did, but oh, I thought they were going to put the white ball in the socket, but they did not. So they're going to go here again. Let's see what they do here. Okay. Alright, so there's one for me here now. So I can go ahead and take this and kind of go like this. I can see the blue ball. The blue is going right into there, so I know exactly where the ball is going to go like I talked about before. Put that right in there. There we go. Now we got the orange one there in the corner, so we're going to do the same thing over there. Don't forget, you can use these, so even though you can move these here in the corner just like that, that's why it's sometimes good to have this on the side. So instead of moving it with the touchscreen, you could kind of move the stick with this on these buttons, because sometimes it gets a little tricky on these shots over here. So you guys get the idea here on what you're obviously trying to do in this game, and this is the one-player mode with the option there that I talked about. Of playing it in easy mode. So let's go ahead and try this again. Now we're going to play the computer on hard so you guys can tell the difference of what I'm talking about. Now this is the way I like to play with friends for sure, because I think it's a lot easier. Of course I'm going to skip the tutorial, but you can see here there is now no blue area. Now you have no idea where the balls are going to go unless if you actually know by the way that you should know. Just the fact that, you know, you've played this game before and you get better at it and you know where the balls are going to go depending on where you line up. So, still made no balls when I hit this here. So the computer's going to take their turn again. They make the solids in there again, so I'm going to be stripes again, and they're going to be solids. They make another solid in there. They made that yellow one right in there. Of course, we're playing on hard, so the computer's obviously going to be a lot harder to play against. When they have shots that they're supposed to make, they're probably going to make them. They did put that white one in there, though. So this gives us an opportunity to put that white one wherever we want to put it. So we can kind of drag this along. We can grab the ball. I'm going to put this right here on the stripes. I see how I have no way to aim. So now I know the white ball is going over there, but the blue ball, the blue line's not telling me where this is actually going to hit. So this is all up to me now. So this is a lot more fun, of course. Still suck at the game. But yeah, it makes the game a lot more fun, like I was talking about before. So let's just go ahead and show a little bit of the gameplay of also when you're playing against someone else, so you guys can see what that's like here. So if we go home and we just do player versus player. Now, what I did tell them about player versus player, and you guys are probably already noticing it, and hopefully it's something that they add as an additional feature, because I told them this only last week, so they probably haven't had too much of a chance to actually do this because the game came out today. But you can see on the computer side, you have the opportunity to play them on easy, which does show the blue line, or you can play on hard, and, you know, obviously that blue line's not there. When you're playing versus someone else, local against your home, so someone here and someone here, unfortunately, the blue line is always there. As you can see, there's no option to kind of turn that off anywhere. So you're going to be playing like the easy mode, because now you can see when you're playing with someone else in front of you or where that ball is actually going to go, which, like I said, I don't think is as fun. So hopefully that's something that they add. They're aware of it. I did tell them, but like I said, I told them late last week, so obviously they haven't had a lot of chance to actually do it, but hopefully that's something to add in an update to give you the opportunity to choose when you're playing one player versus second player in your home, if you want to do the easy mode or the hard mode as far as having that blue line there or not. But yeah, obviously you're going back and forth now. We're doing player 2 here, and you can see the blue lines are everywhere, so you can kind of get a shot here if you want. You can use these, of course, to move the stick around if you want on wherever you want it to go. You can kind of alter this as well on where you actually want to hit the ball to curve your shots. So all the abilities and options are all there. So that's a quick overview of how this game actually plays on here and what you guys can expect with eight billiards on here. I think they did a pretty good job on here. Obviously, it is billiards, so it's not like, you know, the craziest game in the world, but it is cool to play a game like this on a bigger size screen like this against someone else, whether it be against a computer or locally against someone else in front of you. So the game works well. Sometimes when you get stuck on corners like this and it's hard to move, these are really good that they're here, so you can kind of move the stick when you need to when you get stuck in a corner. Like if the thing is right here, like it was in the beginning there, you can kind of just rotate this around and makes it a little bit easier instead of using, you know, your hands over here. Which works it works pretty well, but sometimes, like I said, when you get stuck in a corner over here, it gets a little weird. So these options are good to have here. But the graphics look good. It plays as well as it's supposed to. The only thing or problem that I have is what I talked about before, which is the ability to actually do this with one player versus second player and get that blue line out of there, so it makes it a little bit more challenging and a little bit more fun when you're playing locally against someone else in your home. But everything else looks good. The CPU works well. Like I said, the graphics look good. It is just billiards, so it's obviously not like, you know, my favorite game in the world, but what they did on here for billiards is really cool. I'm glad to have it on the table because it's still a game that a lot of people know. It's fun to have this out and have one player versus second player playing, and it works well. So that summarizes my thoughts and the gameplay on 8-ball billiards. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave those down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.